Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 64.
Our story kicks off with Zhang Fei. Now, he's a general we often think of as, all thunder and impetuous charges, usually the first guy in.
Right, brute force is usually his go-to.
Exactly. But here, he's facing these heavily fortified paths to Luo City, and brute force. It's just not going to cut it. He needs to secure something like 45 garrisons. And to do that, he turns to, well, a captured enemy general, Yan Yan. Given Zhang Fei's reputation, that's kind of extraordinary, isn't it? To ask a defeated foe for advice. What's that tell us about him here?
Oh, it's a masterstroke by Zhang Fei, really. It signals this maturity, maybe beyond his usual bravado. Instead of just executing Yan Yan or locking him up, he shows mercy, respect. And that's huge in that culture, right, where face and honor are everything. And then Yan Yan's response and his strategy, well, that's where it gets really ingenious. He doesn't just give advice. He says he'll lead Zhang Fei's vanguard. He basically says, look, all the defenses, the officers, all under my control, they'll follow my lead. Yeah. He leverages his reputation, his authority, and when a garrison hesitates, he hits them with this line, basically, hey, if I, your commander, have surrendered, what hope do you have?
Yeah.
It's not just persuasion, it's like sophisticated psychological warfare.
Yeah.
He's weaponizing his own defeat, his credibility, to just dismantle their will from the inside.
And the results, they're just astounding. 45 garrisons en a, and they fall without a single battle.
Exactly. Just like that. Think about the strategic advantage there, the time saved, the lives, the resources. It's incredible.
Yeah. Zhang Fei just rides behind Yan Yan, marching through territory that could have cost him months, thousands of men in bloody sieges. It's almost unbelievable.
It really demonstrates his deep understanding of, leveraging the human side of war, turning an enemy into an asset. And this leads to that dramatic reunion, right? When Zhang Fei and Yan Yan show up unexpectedly to meet Liu Bei, and Zhang Fei, surprisingly humble here, tells Liu Bei how crucial Yan Yan was.
Right, and Liu Bei gets it. He rewards Yan Yan with his own golden chainmail, which is a huge symbol of trust, isn't it? Like, you're one of us now.
Absolutely. Full integration. The whole thing just underscores the strategic power you can find in mercy and honor. Turning that face of a defeated enemy into a weapon against his old comrades. It's way beyond what brute force could do. It preserves lives, infrastructure, morale for your side. It's about seeing past the enemy label to find a better, less costly path that actually makes you stronger.
That's a really powerful point. It makes you think, though, how does a leader know when their usual strength, maybe it is aggression or diplomacy, actually becomes a liability? What signals that maybe a totally different approach, even a merciful one like this, might actually get you, better, more lasting results?
That's the million-dollar question in leadership, isn't it? Constant assessment.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the story. While Zhang Fei's having this amazing success, Liu Bei and his main army, they're coming at Luo City from another direction. They're expecting Zhang Fei and Zhu Liang, but they can't just sit around and wait. They've got to keep the pressure on.
Right. You have to maintain momentum. And this is where Liu Bei discusses strategy, and Huangzong, always the sharp one, suggests a night raid. He figures the enemy commander, Zhang Ren, has gotten a bit complacent, unprepared. So Huangzong argues a night attack would be way better than a daylight battle.
And night raids back then, they were a big deal, right?
Oh, huge advantages. They cause confusion, mess up command, play on fear, totally disorient the enemy. You could rout a bigger force sometimes. So Liu Bei agrees. They launch this three-pronged attack. Huangzong left, Wei on right, Liu Bei's center. And it works. Sets the enemy camp ablaze D and forces Zhang Ren to pull back into Luo City itself. It's a really decisive early win, damages their morale, gets Liu Bei a key position for the siege.
So Liu Bei lays siege for 4 days. Feeling pretty good, probably. But, Zhang Ren, he's not broken. Not at all. He's actually, pretty cunning. He spots Liu Bei's forces getting tired over at the West Gate. Sees an opportunity.
And this is where Zhang Ren really shows his tactical brilliance. It's a fantastic feint and encirclement, shows he really understands battlefield psychology. He sends Wu Lan and Lei Tong out the North Gate, tells them to circle around east to hit Huangzong and Wei An, keep them busy. But then, crucially, Zhang Ren himself leads troops out the South Gate to ambush Liu Bei directly at that weak West Gate.
Oh, wow. A double move.
Acts maximum psychological pressure. This isn't just defense. He's actively trying to flip a script, baiting Liu Bei, then hitting him hard from multiple sides.
And Liu Bei walks right into it. He's completely caught off guard. He tries to retreat, but now he's got Zhang Ren chasing him from behind, and he thinks there's an ambush ahead. He ends up alone on this narrow mountain path, thinking, well, sure, and he cries out. Just this moment of pure despair. Oh. Basically, ambush ahead, pursuit behind, heaven is destroying me.
Yeah, it's a raw moment. Even the best leaders hit that wall, right? When your plan just falls apart because the other guy reads you perfectly. How do you keep your head? How do you look for a way out when you're convinced even fate's against you?
It's terrifying. But just when Liu Bei thinks it's all over, what's that noise? Dust cloud in the distance, troops coming. Your heart has to be pounding, right?
Absolutely. And this is our first big strategic intervention. It's Zhang Fei and Yan right behind him. They arrive just in the nick of time. Zhang Fei immediately charges Zhang Ren. They have this fierce duel, like more than 10 rounds. Then Yan's forces arise, giving them the numbers they need. It breaks Zhang Ren's momentum, forces him back into the city.
So Zhang Fei, who was worried about, stealing the lead from Zhu Jilin?
Yeah, well, he was worried he got there too fast.
And instead, he ends up saving his sworn brother, Liu Bei, from, almost certain death or capture.
Exactly. And this arrival, it isn't just luck. It's the direct result of Yan's brilliant strategy earlier and Zhang Fei's successful bloodless campaign that got them there so quickly.
The relief Liu Bei must have felt just immense. And Zhang Fei, being Zhang Fei, immediately tells him how Yan made it possible, right? Reinforcing that alliance again.
Yeah, it ties it all together beautifully. Shows how earlier good decisions, combined with maybe a bit of timing, can just completely flip a desperate situation.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Have you ever had that kind of moment where something you did way back or some connection you made suddenly becomes this critical lifeline when you least expect it?
It happens. Sometimes you don't even realize the seeds you're planting.
Okay, but they can't exactly relax yet, can they? The celebration's cut short. News comes in. Zhang and Wei Yan, they're now in trouble. They're up against Wulan and Leitong, plus reinforcements under Wu Yi and Lu Gi. The battle for Luo City, still very much on.
Right, and this just shows how incredibly fluid ancient warfare was. You need that rapid response capability. Liu Bei and Zhang Fei, they immediately split their forces to go help. Wu Yi and Lu Gi pull back. But Wulan and Leitong, who were chasing Zhang and Wei Yan, suddenly they're cut off by Liu Bei and Zhang Fei coming up behind them.
Turned the tables.
Exactly. Trapped. They have no choice but to surrender. And capturing enemy generals like that, that's a huge strategic plus for Liu Bei.
Yeah.
Really weakens Zhang Ren's command.
Okay, so Zhang Ren's lost 2 generals now. But despite these setbacks, he's still not giving up. His resolve is frankly amazing. He comes up with another trap using the generals he has left, Wu Yu and Lu Gi. You just have to admire his sheer tenacity.
His persistence and adaptability here are truly impressive. He challenges Zhang Fei again, right? But this time, he fakes being defeated, and he lures Zhang Fei knowing he's impulsive around the north side of the city, just like he planned. Then, bam, Wu Yi's forces pop out and cut off Zhang Fei's retreat. He's trapped again.
Unbelievable. He fell for it again.
Well, Zhang Ren played on his known character perfectly. But then, another dramatic entrance. A force suddenly appears from the riverbank.
Don't tell me.
It's Zhao Yun, another of the 5 Tiger generals. He just charges in this incredible force multiplier, captures Wu Yi in basically one move, scatters the enemy, and rescues Zhang Fei. And then Zhao Yun confirms, yep, Zhuge Liang himself, the master strategist, has also arrived. And that signals the real decisive turning point of the whole campaign.
Zhang Fei and Zhao Yun, 2 of Liu Bei's top generals, they're returning to camp. But the real breakthrough, it doesn't come from the battlefield. It comes with this captured general, Wu Yu. He's brought before Liu Bei and the master strategist himself, Kong Ming.
And this Wu Yi, he folds pretty quickly.
Yeah, surprisingly fast. Almost sounds eager, And he just spills everything about Luocheng's defenses. He tells them, okay, the city's guarded by Lu Son. That's the son of Liu Bei's rival, Zhang.
Right.
And there's another general, Lu Gi. But Wu kind of dismisses him, says he's not important.
Interesting. Okay.
But then he mentions the real threat, Zhang Ren. And Wu Yi is crystal clear about this guy. He says Zhang Ren is from Shu Commandery, extremely brave and strategic, not to be underestimated.
Okay, so this is the main guy, not just another soldier.
Exactly. This is the opponent. And Kong Ming's reaction, immediate, laser focused. He just says, first capture Zhang Ren, then take Luocheng.
Yeah. Straight to the point.
It's like he instantly saw the whole battle just hinging on this one single person.
And that's what's so fascinating here, isn't it? How quickly Kongming zeroes in on the critical point, whether it's a weakness or, in this case, the key strength. Identifying Zhang Ren as the linchpin, that just reveals his strategic mind at work. It's not about overwhelming force, necessarily. It's about surgically targeting the commander.
That raises a good question, though. I mean, how much does the character, the ability of just one leader, actually influence the fate of a whole city or an army?
Well, in Kongming's view, clearly a lot. His brilliance isn't just tactics. It's understanding the psychology and the structure of the enemy force. He sees Zhang Ren as the heart of Luocheng's defense. It's definitely calculated. But you have to remember Kongming's reputation. He's known for being an incredibly astute judge of character of military reports. He's likely reading between the lines of what Wu Yi says, the level of respect or fear in his voice when talking about Zhang Ren. That quick decision suggests he probably already had frameworks in mind for dealing with strong commanders. His brain is just working several steps ahead.
Okay, several steps ahead feels like an understatement for Kongming. So Zhang Ren is the target. What happens next? How does he actually plan to catch this guy?
This is where the artistry comes in. Kongming doesn't just send troops. He designs an elaborate trap. He personally rides out to this specific spot east of Luocheng. It's called the Golden Wild Goose Bridge. Zhenyangqiao.
Golden Wild Goose Bridge. Even the name sounds kind of poetic, fateful.
It does, right. And he's not just sightseeing. He's surveying everything, the riverbanks, the bridge structure, the reeds, the paths nearby. Every detail becomes part of the plan.
Okay, let's unpack this trap. Because the orders he gives his generals, they're incredibly specific. It's this multi-layered ambush.
Exactly. Layer upon layer.
So first there's the southern ambush. This is what, 5 or 6 leg, a couple miles south of the bridge. The riverbanks there are covered in reeds, Louis Junjie, really dense cover.
Perfect for hiding troops.
Absolutely. And get this, he tells Wei Yan to take 1,000 spearmen and hide on the left bank. Their specific job. Stab mounted generals.
Wow. Not just attack, but how to attack. Target the rider.
Right. And then on the right bank, Huang Zhang gets 1,000 swordsmen. Their specific job. Chop horse hooves.
That's incredibly precise tactical thinking. Disable the cavalry completely.
Isn't it amazing? The goal is clear. Neutralize the horsemen, create chaos, scatter them, and crucially force Zhang Ren onto a very specific escape path heading south.
It's this granularity that makes Kongming's plans so effective. He's thinking about combined arms, spearmen for riders, swordsmen for mounts tailored perfectly to the terrain and the likely enemy formation. Like you said, it's not just a battle plan, it's psychological manipulation too. He's anticipating Zhang Ren's reactions, limiting his options, basically herding him into this prearranged kill zone.
It really is like 3D chess. Okay, so that's the southern trap in the reeds. What else?
Then there's the eastern ambush.
Okay.
Zhang Fei, the powerhouse general, is hidden with another 1,000 troops, but he's on a small mountain path, specifically positioned to intercept Zhang Ren after he flees south from the reeds.
So, layer 2. If Zhang Ren breaks through the first ambush, Zhang Fei is waiting.
Exactly. And then there's the final piece, the northern blockade, right at the bridge itself.
Closing the escape route back the way he came.
Precisely. Zhao Yan is positioned just north of the Golden Wild Goose Bridge. His job is critical. After Kongming bade Zhang Ren across the bridge, Zhao Yan's orders are to break the bridge, literally demolish it, and then deploy his troops to block any attempt to retreat north.
Man, that's thorough. South is trapped, east is ambushed, north is blocked, and the bridge is gone. There's literally no way out.
It's total entrapment. And breaking the bridge, it's not just physical. It's a powerful psychological blow. It screams, "You are trapped, there is no escape." It seals Zhang Ren's fate before the final confrontation even happens. It shows the absolute completeness of Kongming's plan.
Okay, the trap is set. It's ingenious. Now, how does he get Zhang Ren to walk into it? This is where it gets really good, right?
The lure. And fate plays a hand here, too. Just as the trap is ready, Lu Xing, Zhang Ren's boss, sends reinforcements to Luocheng. 2 generals, Zhu Ying and Zhang Yi.
So Zhang Ren probably feels even more confident now.
Exactly. He's brimming with confidence. He takes one of the new guys, Zhu Ying, and leads his forces straight out of the city to meet Kongming head-on. He thinks he's got the upper hand.
And Kongming plays into this perfectly. His entrance onto the battlefield is just pure theater.
It really is.
He leads out what the text calls a disordered army, buzhang buji. Like they look deliberately messy, disorganized.
Making himself look weak.
Totally.
Eh.
And he's riding his famous four-wheeled cart, dressed not as a warrior, but as a scholar, with his feather fan, surrounded by just a small cavalry escort. It looks almost pathetic.
A calculated display of vulnerability.
And then the taunt. He basically shouts out to Zhang Ren, "Hey, even Cao with millions of troops ran scared for my name. Who the heck are you to resist surrendering?"
Oh, that's brilliant. It's an insult designed to provoke pride and anger. He's playing Zhang Ren like a fiddle.
And Zhang Ren falls for it. Hook, line, and sinker. He sees Kong Ming's apparently weak setup, the seemingly arrogant scholar, and the text says he coldly laughed.
Underestimating completely.
Yeah, he thinks people say this Zhu Jilang guy is like a god with troops, but nah, he's all talk, no substance. And with that, full of confidence, he orders the charge.
Straight into the jaws of the trap.
Kong Ming, of course, plays his part, abandons the cart, hops on a horse, and makes a big show of fleeing back across the Golden Wild Goose Bridge. Zhang Ren, eager for glory, gives chase without a second thought.
The bait is taken.
And bam, the trap springs. As Zhang Ren gallops across the bridge, he suddenly sees Liu Bei's forces charging from one side, Yan Yan's from the other. He instantly knows he's been had.
The realization must have been chilling.
He tries to wheel around, retreat back across the bridge, but it's too late. Zhao Yun's already broken it.
No going back.
He tries to bolt north, maybe find another way. Nope. Zhao Yun's troops are there, blocking the path completely.
Every escape route is sealed.
So forced south, his only option is towards those reed beds.
Yeah.
And then it's just chaos.
The ambush begins.
You can just imagine it. Wei Yan's spearmen lunging out, stabbing riders, Huang Zhang's swordsmen hacking at the horses' legs, horses stumbling, falling, soldiers being captured everywhere.
A perfectly executed slaughter, orchestrated by Kong Ming from miles away, essentially.
Zhang Ren makes one last desperate push. He breaks through the reeds with maybe just a few dozen horsemen left, heading for that mountain path.
And runs straight into
Zhang Fei, who lets out one of his terrifying roars, challenges him, and just like that, the great Zhang Ren is pulled from his horse and captured alive.
Incredible. The plan worked flawlessly.
And Zhu Ying, the reinforcement general who came with Zhang Ren, seeing how badly things went, he'd apparently already surrendered to Zhao Yun earlier. Smart move, maybe.
Definitely the pragmatic move. It really highlights how Zhang Ren's pride was his undoing. He saw weakness where there was cunning. Kong Ming used Zhang Ren's own confidence against him. It's psychological warfare winning before the main clash even fully happens.
So the linchpin is captured. Zhang Ren, the brave and strategic general, is now a prisoner brought before Liu Bei and Kong Ming. What happens now?
This is where the story takes another fascinating turn, focusing on character and loyalty.
Liu Bei, who often comes across as, quite gracious, urges Zhang Ren to surrender. He points out, reasonably, that lots of other Shu generals have already switched sides. He's offering him a way out, basically. Keep your life, join us.
A practical offer from a leader building a coalition.
But Zhang Ren, he's having none of it.
Yeah.
His response is immediate, furious, completely defiant. He shouts, "Loyal subjects would never serve two masters." That famous line, "Zhongchen Qinishi Zhong."
Wow. Powerful words. No compromise there.
None at all. Liu Bei, who seems genuinely impressed by this fierce loyalty, even in an enemy, tries again. Says he'll spare his life.
Still trying to win him over.
But Zhang Ren just doubles down. "If I surrender today, I won't surrender in the future. Just kill me quickly." And he keeps cursing loudly. He's made his choice.
He values his loyalty, his honor, above his own life.
Yeah. And Liu Bei is actually reluctant. He doesn't really want to kill such a loyal guy, even though he's the enemy. It puts him in a tough spot, his political goals versus his admiration for this kind of integrity.
And this is where you see a real clash of values, don't you? Liu Bei represents a kind of pragmatism, valuing allegiance and expansion. Zhang Ren represents an older, almost absolute code of loyalty to one master, one cause.
So what does Kong Ming do, the ultimate strategist, the pragmatist?
Kong Ming makes the decisive call. He orders Zhang Ren's execution. But, and this is crucial, the text says he does it to preserve his name. Ye Quan Qi Ming.
To preserve his name, meaning to let him die upholding his principles.
Exactly. It's not presented as a punishment, but almost as a mark of respect. Kong Ming, despite his strategic ruthlessness, recognizes the depth of Zhang Ren's moral conviction. He allows Zhang Ren to die as the loyal hero he insisted on being. It's about honoring that unwavering code.
That's actually quite profound. The man who trapped him also, in a way, honors his final wish.
It is. And Liu Bei, though initially reluctant, is also deeply moved. He orders Zhang Ren's body to be buried respectfully right there beside the Golden Wild Goose Bridge as a monument to his loyalty.
Wow. And there's even a poem about him, right? Praising his loyalty.
Yeah. Yes, a later poem in the text highlights this. A loyal hero would never serve two masters. General Zhang's loyalty and bravery live on after his death. His uprightness is like the moon in the sky, its light shining on Luocheng night after night. It shows how his stand resonated.
It definitely suggests they saw something truly exceptional in his defiance.
Absolutely. It's that recurring theme in history and literature, admiring the moral courage of a defeated enemy. Zhang Ren lost the battle, lost his life, but secured his legacy as this symbol of unwavering loyalty.
Okay, so Zhang Ren, the main obstacle, is gone. Honored in death, but gone. What happens to Luocheng now? Does it just fall?
Well, things move very quickly. The very next day, Kong Ming uses the situation to his advantage.
How so?
He sends Yan Wu Yi, remember him, the guy who gave the intel,
Yeah.
and other Shu generals who had recently surrendered, sends them all to the walls of Luocheng.
To call for the city to surrender, using former comrades to persuade them.
Exactly. Trying to avoid more fighting, they stand outside the gates and basically tell the defenders, look, your best general is gone, join us, it's over.
And how does that go down? And what about Lu Gi, the guy Wu Yi called unimportant?
Lu Gi is still there, and he actually curses them from the walls. He's trying to put up a brave front, maybe rally the remaining troops.
So still some defiance left. Does this mean another fight?
You'd think so, right. But then comes another twist, a really surprising one.
Okay.
Remember Zhang Yi, one of those reinforcement generals who arrived with Zhu Ying just before the battle?
Yeah, the other new guy.
Well, while Lu Gi is up there cursing, Zhang Yi, inside the city, suddenly draws his sword, cuts down Lu Gi, and throws open the city gates. He surrenders Luocheng from within.
Whoa. Just like that. An internal betrayal.
Just like that. Liu Bei's got Luocheng. You'd think, okay, full speed ahead to Chengdu, right? Just charge the capital.
You might think so, but Zhuge Liang, his thinking is a bit more cautious, actually. Instead of that immediate rush, the focus shifts to securing the surrounding areas first. Consolidation.
Okay, so not straight for the throat.
Not yet. He sends Zhao Yun, Zhang Yi, and Wu Yi off to places like Jiangyang and Zhenwei.
Right.
And then Zhang Fei, Yan Yan, and Zhu Ying are dispatched to Baxi and Jiang. What's fascinating here is that strategic emphasis on, well, stability. It's about securing the rear before that final push. It's a classic military idea, but Zhuge Liang really applies it smartly here. It's not just about winning the next battle, it's about holding the territory long term.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Building a foundation. But then there's a really interesting pivot, isn't there? Instead of just more fighting, someone suggests diplomacy. Why pause for a letter at this point?
Yeah, it seems a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it? The prize is right there.
Yeah.
But it's Fa Zheng who advises Liu Bei to hold back. He says, let's try using benevolence and righteousness. Send a letter. Try to persuade Lu Zhang to surrender peacefully.
And Zhu Liang agrees with this.
Fully agrees. And, this raises that question. Why would a winning army stop for a letter? Yeah. Especially when Chengdu seems so close.
Exactly.
It really speaks volumes about how much they valued reputation, I think. Minimizing bloodshed was part of it, sure, but also maybe a longer-term vision for how they wanted to govern Yu province. Showing magnanimity could win hearts and minds better than just conquest.
A strategic move for legitimacy, maybe.
Precisely. It positions Liu Bei as the more righteous leader, which could be incredibly valuable down the line.
Okay, let's shift perspective. Back in Chengdu, Lu Zhang gets the bad news about Luocheng. Panic stations, I assume. What's his reaction? What advice is he getting?
Oh yeah, panic is probably an understatement. He calls his officials together, desperate for a plan. And that's when one of his subordinates, Zheng Du, comes up with this incredibly bold, scorched earth strategy.
Scorched earth, what did that involve?
It was drastic. Evacuate everyone from Baxi and Zitong west of the Fu River, then burn everything, all the grain stores, cultivated fields, even the wild grain, as the text says.
Wow.
Then dig deep trenches, build high walls, and just refuse battle. Zheng Du predicted that within 100 days, Liu Bei's army would run out of supplies and have to retreat. Then they could counterattack.
That's almost unthinkable, sacrificing your own land and people's livelihoods on that scale. But Lu Zhang rejects it. Why?
He does reject it, and this is where you see this really interesting side of Lu Zhang. His reasoning is quite remarkable for the time. He says, I heard that resisting the enemy is to secure the people, not to move the people to prepare for the enemy. This is not a plan for preservation.
So he prioritizes his people's immediate welfare over this potentially winning but devastating strategy.
Exactly. It's a clash between, ruthless military pragmatism and a kind of moral principle. He puts the people first, even if it might cost him the war. Definitely shows his character, maybe a weakness as a warlord, but also a surprising humanity.
So he rejects Zhang Du's plan. Then Fa Zheng's letter arrives, the one suggesting surrender. How does that go down amidst all this debate?
Oh, terribly. Luocheng is absolutely furious when he reads it. He tears the letter up on the spot.
Rips it up.
Yep. Calls Fa Zheng a traitor, kicks the messenger out. Fa Zheng had mentioned their old feelings and familial ties, but Luocheng just sees it as pure betrayal. No room for diplomacy in his mind now.
Okay, so diplomacy is off the table. What practical steps does he take? He mentioned defending Mianzhu Pass.
Right, he doesn't just rage, he acts. He sends his brother-in-law, Fei Guan, to defend Mianzhu, which is a crucial pass. Li Yan, a capable general from Nanyang, joins him, and they have 30,000 troops. It's a serious defensive force.
And there was something about asking for help from Han Cong, from Zhang Lu.
Yes, another sign of desperation, really. The prefect Dong, he suggests it, even though Lu Zhang and Zhang Lu have this long-standing feud. Dong, he uses that great analogy, if the lips are gone, the teeth will be cold.
Meaning if Lu Zhang falls, Zhang Lu is next.
Exactly. Survival makes strange bedfellows. Lu Zhang, seeing how dire things are, agrees and sends off a letter asking for help. So things are really heating up on that eastern front.
Okay, so Liu Bei is advancing, consolidating, trying diplomacy. Lu Zhang is scrambling, making moral choices, calling for aid.
Yeah.
Now let's dramatically shift focus, like you said, way over to the west. A different kind of drama is playing out there, involving someone we know well, Ma Chao.
That's right. Ma Chao. Remember, he was defeated earlier, fled to the Qing territories. He's spent over 2 years rebuilding his strength, making alliances with the Qing tribes.
That he's been successful?
Quite successful. He's managed to conquer several prefectures in the Longxi region. Most places actually surrendered to him pretty willingly. But there's one holdout, the city of Zhisheng. It's proving tough to crack.
Zhisheng. And the governor there, Wei Kang, he's in a tight spot, isn't he? He keeps asking for help from Xiao Yuan.
Yes, repeatedly asking for help. But Xiao Yuan is sticking to the letter of his orders from Cao Cao. No explicit command to move, so he stays put. Wei Kang is isolated.
So eventually, Wei Kang feels he has no choice but to surrender to Ma Chao. Does everyone agree with this?
No, not at all. His counselor Yang Fu argues very strongly against it, vehemently. He calls Ma Chao a rebel and pleads with Wei Kang not to surrender, appealing to his honor. It really brings up that tough question, When is loyalty to a distant, maybe uncaring, lord less important than just saving your city, your people right now? Wei Kang ultimately decides surrender is the only option left.
Okay, so Wei Kang surrenders. You'd think Ma Chao would be pleased, right? Gets the city without a final assault. But that's not what happens, is it? This is where it gets really dark.
It gets incredibly dark and shocking. Ma Chao accepts the surrender, but then he becomes enraged. He declares Wei Kang's surrender wasn't sincere because it only happened because Wei Kang was desperate, under duress.
Wait, he blames him for surrendering too late?
Essentially, yes. The irony is just staggering.
Wait.
Ma Chao, himself a rebel against the Han, condemns Wei Kang for what he sees as an insincere, forced surrender, and then he executes Wei Kang.
Just Wei Kang.
No. Wei Kang and his entire family, over 40 people, men, women, children, the text says no one was left alive.
My God. That's appalling brutality, even for this era.
It really is. It paints the stark picture of Ma Chao's ruthlessness. The danger of crossing him, or even just appearing to, was immense.
But amidst all that horror, Yang Fu, the guy who argued against surrendering, Ma Chao spares him. Why?
It's one of the most fascinating twists here. Ma Chao spares Yang Fu. His reasoning. He says, this man upholds righteousness, he cannot be killed.
So even Ma Chao recognizes and respects Yang Fu's integrity, his loyalty to his fallen lord.
Apparently so. Or at least he sees something in that principle he can maybe respect or even use. It's complex. He doesn't just spare him, he actually employs Yang Fu as a counselor. And he accepts Yang Fu's recommendations to appoint 2 other men, Liang Quan and Zhao Qua, as military officers.
Wow. So Ma Chao, the butcher, sees value in righteousness, at least in others.
It seems that way. It shows how even someone that brutal could recognize and maybe even exploit principles like loyalty when it suited them. It's a really critical detail for understanding how power and allegiance worked then. Very unpredictable.
Okay, so let's follow Yang Fu. His lord and his lord's entire family have just been massacred in front of him, and now he's serving the man responsible. This can't be genuine loyalty. What's his play?
No, it's absolutely not genuine loyalty. Yang Fu is playing a very dangerous, very long game here. His next move is incredibly cunning. He goes to Ma Chao and requests 2 months' leave.
Leave. For what?
He says he needs to return to his hometown, Lintao, to bury his wife. A perfectly reasonable, even sympathetic request.
And Ma Chao buys it.
Completely. He doesn't suspect a thing, grants the leave. Yang Fu has played his part perfectly up to this point.
So this leave is his chance. This is where his real plan, his vengeance plot, starts to unfold. Where does he go?
He doesn't go to Lintao. He travels straight to Luocheng to meet his cousin Jiangshu, who's a general there.
Yeah.
And Jiangshu's mother, Yang Fu's aunt, who's 82 years old, is also there.
Okay, a family meeting. What happens?
It's incredibly dramatic. Yang Fu goes into the inner chambers, bows to his aunt, and then just breaks down weeping. The text says he wept until blood flowed from his tears. He pours out his shame for failing to protect Wei Qiang, shame for not dying with him. Then he confronts his cousin Jiangshu, basically blaming him for not taking revenge on Ma Chao, calling Ma Chao a rebel who killed the governor, and insisting the people hate him. It's this raw, emotional appeal to family duty and honor.
And his elderly aunt. She must have been shocked, but you said she plays an active role.
She plays a crucial role. She doesn't just listen sympathetically. She steps in decisively. She summons Jiangshu right there and then, and she directly blames him for Wei Qiang's death, echoing Yang Fu's sentiment.
Putting the pressure on her own son.
Big time.
Wow.
Then she turns to Yang Fu and asks him why he's serving Ma Chao if he feels this way. And that's when Yang Fu reveals everything. He says, dramatically, I joined the traitor to save my life, to avenge my lord. Boom. The mask is off. His whole strategy is laid bare.
That's the aha moment, revealing his true purpose. But Jiangshu is still hesitant, right? Ma Chao's famously brave.
He is hesitant. He points out Ma Chao's fearsome reputation in battle. But Yang Fu has thought this through. He counters that Ma Chao has courage but no strategy, making him easy to plot against.
He thinks Ma Chao is predictable.
Predictable, maybe reckless, and then Yang Fu reveals his ace. He's already been working on the inside. Remember Liang Quan and Zhao Qua, the officers he recommended to Ma Chao?
The ones Ma Chao appointed on his advice.
Exactly. Yang Fu reveals he's secretly arranged with them to be his inside agents, ready to turn when the time is right.
Clever. Very clever. But it's the aunt who really seals the deal, isn't it? Her words are unforgettable.
Absolutely. She delivers the final unanswerable persuasion. She looks at her hesitant son, Jiangshu, and says, "Why wait? Everyone dies. To die for loyalty is to die in the right place. Don't worry about me." And then the clincher. "If you don't listen to Yeshen Yang Fu's courtesy name, I will die first to cut off your hesitation."
Wow. She's basically saying, do this or I'll kill myself right now to shame you into it.
Pretty much. It's this incredible display of moral force, this absolute sense of duty that just overrides everything else, personal safety, fear, even her own life. It's a powerful example of that conviction we talked about. She leaves Jiangshu absolutely no choice.
That kind of pressure.
Yeah.
So Jiangshu is in. He consults with others, including Zhao Wang. But Zhao Wang has his own terrible dilemma, right?
A truly heartbreaking one. Zhao Ang's own son, Zhao Yu, is serving under Ma Chao at that very moment as a junior officer. Zhao Ang is terrified, understandably, that if they rebel, Ma Chao will kill his son instantly as retribution. It's duty versus family in the most direct way possible.
An impossible choice. But then another woman steps up, Zhao Wang's wife, Lady Wang.
Yes. It's astonishing. Lady Wang demonstrates just as fierce a resolve as Yang Fu's aunt. She sees her husband's hesitation, his fear for their son, and she tells him, essentially, avenging our Lord's shame is worth more than your life, let alone one son. If you hesitate because of our son, I will die first.
Another woman willing to die for the principle of the thing, to force her husband's hand for honor's sake.
Exactly. It just hammers home how deep these values ran. Loyalty, honor, vengeance, not just for the men, but through the entire family structure. Lady Wang's conviction is just breathtaking. The sacrifice she's demanding and willing to make herself.
So these powerful appeals, especially from the women, finally push Zhao Ang over the edge.
They do. He resolves to join the rebellion despite the risk to his son. So the plan moves forward. Jiangshu and Yang Fu set up their base at Luocheng. Yinfeng and Zhao Ang position their troops at Qishan.
And Lady Wang, does she just wait at home?
Not a chance. In a final, truly inspiring act, Lady Wang personally travels to the camp at Qishan. She takes all her personal jewelry, all her valuables, and uses them to reward the soldiers directly, boosting their morale significantly. She's all in. Ma Chao, powerful warlord, thinks he's pretty secure, right?
It was that way initially.
And then, bam! He's just blindsided. A sudden coordinated rebellion. Imagine the shock. You've got Jiang Shu, Yang Fu, Yan Feng, Zhao Wang all turning on him.
And these probably weren't strangers, likely former allies, maybe people under his command.
Exactly. His reaction, immediate, furious. He instantly orders the killing of Zhao Yu, probably sending a message there.
A brutal one.
Then dispatches his top guys, Pang De and Ma Dai, to hit Luocheng. He's clearly aiming to just crush this thing fast.
Yeah, overwhelming force. But it's also important to grasp the layers of this betrayal. It gets deeper.
How so?
Well, the rebels, Jiang Shu and Yang Fu specifically, they didn't just fight him. They showed up in stark white robes.
White robes? Why?
It wasn't fashion, that's for sure. It was symbolic. White's the color of mourning, right?
Oh,
they were publicly declaring they were mourning him his moral death, calling him a treacherous and unrighteous thief.
Wow. So not just a military fight, but a moral attack, too.
Precisely. Trying to strip away his legitimacy, turn everyone against him. It's classic political warfare hit the reputation, not just the army.
And at first, Ma Chao, being the warrior he is, well, it seems to work for him. He charges in, furious, beats Jiang Zhu and Yang Fu pretty quickly. They retreat.
He's pursuing, probably thinking he's got this handled.
But here's the twist. Just as he's pressing his advantage, boom, the tide just turns completely. A pincer attack. Yin Feng and Zhao Wang, they were waiting, hit him from behind, throws his forces into chaos.
Oh, an ambush. Nasty.
And before he can even really deal with that, Cao Cao's general, Xiahou Yuan, shows up. With a massive fresh army, it's just a crushing defeat.
So his whole position just collapses. Instantly.
Yeah. It's a real masterclass in how fast things can go south in war, isn't it?
Definitely. And that defeat
just
triggers this chain reaction. Pure desperation sets in.
Right. So Ma Chao, what's left of his army, they flee towards Luocheng, looking for refuge.
But what he finds there is maybe the worst betrayal of all. The city gates slammed shut against him.
Oof. So who would do that? Betray him that completely? Turned his own safe haven into a trap.
Well, the calculation, the animosity, it must have run deep.
And the answer is just shocking. Brutal, so personal. It's Liang Quan and Zhao Guo.
Figures from within his own sphere, potentially.
And from the city walls, they don't just shout insults. They do something truly horrific. It's beyond just war.
What is it?
They massacre Ma Chao's wife, Yang Shi, his 3 young sons, over 10 other close relatives.
Oh, my God.
And then they throw the bodies down from the walls right in front of him.
Oh.
The text says he's so overcome, grief, rage, he nearly falls off his horse. It's not just losing, it's the annihilation of his family, his future.
Unimaginable, that kind of personal wound in the middle of all this.
Absolute despair, absolute fury.
It really is. And you see here, when betrayal and loss hit that extreme level, especially mixed with the political violence already happening, well, it almost guarantees this unstoppable spiral of vengeance.
There's no coming back from that calmly.
No way.
Yes.
This wasn't just losing a city. It was the targeted destruction of his entire lineage, a direct, horrific consequence of the political violence he himself was part of.
Right. The choices leaders make.
Exactly. It's fascinating how these personal tragedies often stem directly from the bigger conflicts the leaders start. It's like this vicious feedback loop coming back to bite them hard.
So Ma Chao now literally fueled by nothing but vengeance. Family gone, power gone. He flees Xiahou Yuan's pursuit.
Still being hunted.
Yeah, battles through more fights with his old enemies, just raw fury, grief driving him, and this next move, it's just horrific retribution.
How does he do?
He gets into Luocheng, a city he thinks is full of his enemies, and just unleashes a massacre. Kills the inhabitants indiscriminately.
He's completely broken, consumed by it.
It shows how far someone can fall, doesn't it?
It really does. And there's this one moment within that massacre. It's chilling, almost defiant.
What's that?
Amidst the slaughter in Luocheng, Jiang Shu's elderly mother confronts Ma Chao.
On the front?
Yeah, doesn't cower, stands there, cruises him to his face for what he's doing before he kills her himself.
Wow. That takes courage. Or maybe just absolute despair.
Maybe both. And the text also mentions Yin Feng and Zhao Wang's families are wiped out too. Except Zhao Wang's wife, Wang Shi. She was spared only because she was with the army.
So the killing just spreads, family for family.
Exactly. And it just begs that question, doesn't it? Where does this cycle end when it gets this personal, this dehumanizing? Can it end? Or does it just keep eating everyone involved?
A terrifying thought.
Yeah.
And the pursuit. Still going. Xiao Huyan is right behind him.
Relentless.
Ma Chao has another run-in with Yang Fu. Remember him? One of the original rebels?
The one in the white robes, yeah.
In this, superhuman rage, Ma Chao kills Yang Fu's 7 brothers who were helping him and wounds Yang Fu himself 5 times.
5 times. And he kept fighting.
Astonishingly, yes. Despite the wounds, losing his brothers, he kept fighting. It's incredible resilience. Or maybe just an equally deep need for revenge himself.
That kind of resolve, facing that kind of loss and injury, it's remarkable. Speaks to maybe a deep sense of duty or belief in his cause.
Or pure hatred.
Could be. But what's really interesting about Yang Fu is what happens later. Cao hears about his bravery, right? Offers him this prestigious title, Guan Nei Hu. Big reward, high nobility.
And Yang Fu takes it.
He refuses.
Refuses. Why?
He says he had, and I quote, no merit in overcoming difficulty, nor the integrity of dying in battle. Basically, he felt he hadn't properly avenged his brothers or died honorably trying.
Wow. So amidst all this brutality and backstabbing, he holds on to this idea of honor.
It seems so. It gives you this glimpse into maybe a different code operating then. Honor, humility,
Yeah.
even when everything's falling apart. Makes you wonder, though.
I wonder what, was it purely honor? Or was refusing Cao Cao's reward also, a bit strategic, made him look even better?
That's a really sharp question. I mean, the lines between pure honor and shrewd politics were definitely blurry then.
Right.
It's possible, yeah. Refusing could have boosted his moral standing.
Set him apart. Okay, so from all that bloodshed, the ashes of his family, Ma Chao makes his next move. He's a warlord with almost nothing left, a fugitive.
Where does he go?
He seeks refuge with Zhang Lu in Hanzhong, arrives with just a handful of followers left, Pandai, Matai. The loyal few, quite a fall for a guy who commanded huge armies.
Humbling, yeah.
Yeah.
But Zhang Lu, the ruler there, he doesn't just see some defeated refugee. He sees an asset.
A military asset, even after all that.
A volatile one, sure, but still valuable. Zhang Lu's thinking strategically. Ma Chao's reputation as a warrior is still huge. He thinks Ma Chao could help him conquer Yizu to the west and resist Cao Cao in the east.
So using Ma Chao to boost his own power.
Exactly. It's pragmatic. Potential gain outweighs the baggage of Ma Chao's past, at least initially.
And to kind of seal the deal, make sure Ma Chao stays loyal, Zhang Lu has an idea.
What's that?
Marriage. Offers his own daughter to Ma Chao. Classic move. Right. Bind a powerful general to your family, your cause.
Seems like a fresh start for Ma Chao. A chance to rebuild.
It looks that way for a minute.
Yeah.
But then the internal politics kick in. Zhang Lu's court isn't unified on this.
Complications arise.
Yeah.
Who speaks up?
One of Zhang Lu's generals, Yang Bo, he steps in, advises against the marriage. Explicitly.
Why? On what grounds?
He's direct. Harsh, actually. Reminds Zhang Lu that Ma Chao's previous family tragedy's wife, kids killed, were, quote, his own doing.
Ouch. That's blunt, basically calling him unstable, a liability.
Pretty much. Judging his character, saying his past wasn't just bad luck, it was him. Warning Zhang Lu that bringing Ma Chao into the family could be inviting disaster.
So how does Ma Chao take that news?
Predictably, he is furious. Hears about Yang Bo's advice, sees it as a massive insult, a threat to this new beginning.
And knowing Ma Chao's temper.
His immediate reaction. He wants to kill Yang Bo. Right there, you see that volatility again, the thing that's already cost him so much.
Which, of course, is just going to create more problems.
Exactly. Yang Bo, now terrified for his life, and his brother Yang Song, who's also influential, they start actively plotting against Ma Chao. So much for a fresh start. The place is already hostile.
Wow. So while all that's brewing inside Hansong, the bigger picture keeps shifting too, right?
Oh, yeah. The wheels are always turning. Liu Zhang of Sichuan, he's getting desperate. Liu Bei is pressing him hard.
Right, Liu Bei's expansion.
So Liu Zhang sends an envoy, Huang Quan, to ask Zhang Lu for military help. Perfect example of how fluid alliances were, isn't it? Enemy of my enemy. Maybe my friend for a bit.
For now, anyway.
Yeah.
And this envoy, Huang Quan, he's smart. Doesn't go straight to the top.
No. Who does he approach?
He goes to Yang Song first. Knows he has influence, especially now that he and his brother are scheming against Ma Chao.
Ah, playing the internal politics. Clever.
Totally. Huang Quan promises a huge prize. 20 prefectures if Zhang Lu helps out. Classic move. Find the gatekeeper, offer something big, leverage their existing beefs. 20 prefectures is massive.
Huge incentive. So Yang Song, seeing his chance maybe to get rid of Ma Chao and gain territory, what does he do?
He goes to Zhang Lu, uses this old, powerful argument, the lips and teeth analogy.
And lips and teeth, how does that work?
Says Sichuan and Dongchuan, Zhang Lu's area, are like lips and teeth, interdependent. If one falls, the Sichuan to Liu Bei, the other, Hanzong is exposed, vulnerable. If Luocheng goes down, Zhang Lu is next.
An argument based on mutual survival. Very persuasive. But it raises that question again, doesn't it? How much is an alliance really worth? What are the hidden costs, especially with promises this big and all this internal plotting already happening?
It's never just about the troops, is it? It's about trust, history, persuasion.
Exactly. And not everyone buys it. Zhang Lu's advisor, Yan Pu, he throws up a red flag.
A voice of caution.
Yeah, says, hold on, don't trust Lu Zhang. Reminds Zhang Lu they've had feuds before. Says Lu Zhang is probably lying about those 20 prefectures just because he's desperate.
So, a reality check. Don't trust big promises from desperate people you already have bad blood with. Seems sensible.
A stark warning, right? The best offers might hide the biggest traps.
And this whole exchange, the plea for help, the internal scheming, the promises, the warnings, it just perfectly shows that constant negotiation, the fluid loyalties, the complex strategic games of the three kingdoms.
Everyone maneuvering.
Constantly. Weighing past grievances, future hopes, immediate threats. It's a masterclass in how power works when there's no central control.
So, as Zhang Lu is mulling all this over Lu Zhang's plea, Yang Song's argument, Yan Pu's warning, the scene ends with this real dramatic moment.
Yeah. What happened?
An unnamed warrior steps forward, big presence, confident, makes this incredibly bold claim.
Which is?
Says he will capture Liu Bei himself, secure that promised territory for Zhang Lu.
Well, it just steps up and says, I'll handle it.